The NCAA Lacrosse National Championship.
What we do in life will echo forever in eternity. Wyatt, Logan, touch glove.
Okay.
That is so funny.
The referee giving this pump-up speech. Do you know what that speech is from?
Which Carter?
From Gladiator, Mike. Okay.
Oh, 50-50 shot.
We were talking actually the other day about should Tyrese Haliburton's dad be allowed back in the arena. Apparently, everybody watched our show and they let him back in.
They played our clip on ESPN.
They played our clip. Nick and Mikey Alfieri. With Knicks home games, it's like Michael J. Fox next to John Hamm sitting courtside. With Pacers home games, it's just some guy that owns an AC company in Indiana. Timothy Chalamet. People are getting mad about this. Stop showing him after every play. He's ruining the NBA.
You're not going to have celebrities in the crowd and not talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, play into it about how this is the place to be.
What do you have there? Is that a cold brew with some foam? What kind of foam?
I'm not sure. It's a nitro cold brew.
Okay.
This is Joey's order, and I took it because I don't know the menu at Starbucks, but Joey says this has the most caffeine, and so I stole his order.
Good?
No, it's very utilitarian.
Okay.
And it's sort of like you're earning the caffeine because the flavor's not great. So it's kind of like, okay, I earned the energy here.
I don't believe you because there was foam in it, and the foam is like made for little girls to make the caffeine drinkable. So it wasn't yummy at all.
All right, you got me. It's a little girl drink. Okay. It was
Mhm.
me and this girl going to soccer practice ordered it. She was in line after me. So yeah.
All right. Well, as long as you're willing to admit that. The other thing is I find it very, very weird that you have not yet commented on my white shirt. I've obviously been wearing a dark shirt the entire time we've been doing the podcast, and this is the first time I'm wearing a nice crispy white t-shirt, and you've given me no props on it. So it's just incredibly strange to me.
Where did you get that?
Well, do you know what yesterday was?
Oh yeah. Happy birthday.
Oh,
That's
no.
right.
Oh,
This is
thank
our birthday special. I sent you a happy birthday text, which is the most you're allowed to do as a brother.
Yeah, you did. And it was just happy birthday, no punctuality or no punctuation, no exclamation. And I appreciate that. No, you know, Ma. So she gave me this.
Ma from Ma and Dad.
Yeah, Ma from Ma and Dad. So she gave me this for my birthday. It's a Lululemon t-shirt, and I just find the way that I look in it to be great. And you know, it's a little sad that I had to make you compliment me on it, but at least you did.
That's actually a really cool shirt. I like the thick cotton shirts like that are really thick cotton, and then fitted arms it's a great shirt.
Yeah, the arms are pretty. Oh, it's a little loose right there. That's just I don't worked out yet today. Okay, so Mike, we got a lot of interesting sports things to talk about today. Okay, the NBA playoffs, interesting stuff going on there. Both series are at 3-1. It's clear who it's going to be in the championship, in the finals, probably. Some other interesting things going on with the SEC and the NCAA and Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. Interesting stuff going on there. But I want to start off with a sport that maybe should be, and I want to get your opinion on this, a sport that should maybe be a little bit more popular in the United States. And it's not. It's somehow staying so niche and regional. I want you to guess on what sport I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's native to the United States, but it's staying niche and regional.
Well, I don't know if it's native to the United States. It's in the United States. I can tell you that.
Okay. I'm gonna guess pickleball.
Okay. I'll give you another one. It's a collegiate sport.
Lacrosse.
There you
Really?
go. Yes. Good. It is
First try.
Look, first try. We'll edit out the pickleball thing. I mean, that was not your best guess.
Well, pickleball is like one of the fastest growing sports in America.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I know. You're right.
It was spike ball, and then that plateaued, and now pickleball.
I was definitely more of a spike ball guy than a pickleball guy, but you know, whatever. But the reason I bring that up is the NCAA Lacrosse National Championship was yesterday, and look, Cornell You ever heard of it? Okay, Andy Bernard. They won their first national championship since 1977. And they had, look at this, 32,500 people at the national championship
Oh,
game.
wow.
That's pretty solid. That's like,
Yeah, that's great for lacrosse, right?
yeah, it's actually it's basically the same as the ELF championship game, at least 2 years ago. And so it's like it's at a solid level right now. But I'm wondering what your take is on lacrosse. Why do you think it's not as popular or hasn't gotten as popular? Because very, very niche. It's very regional to like the Northeast. It's got a super specific culture, like the prep school, Ivy League culture. What are your just general thoughts on lacrosse before we get into it a little more?
This is lacrosse is fascinating to me. And like, I don't understand why like the professional level of lacrosse, like what's the professional league in the US? Does it exist? Because, and why is there no money in it?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
how come it's not growing? Because like, I feel like East Coast, it's pretty big.
yes.
And it's like hockey's very big on the East Coast, not as big on the West Coast.
Right.
So why doesn't it have enough steam to support like a real professional league?
Yeah, that's interesting because hockey is also like a little bit more niche, but the NHL is still a premier professional league in the United States. Like we still talk about it. It's still on TV, but lacrosse is not. Like it's growing, but it stays in there. And I just wonder because I watched some highlights from the national championship game. And it's actually like lacrosse is
It's a cool sport. It has good physicality, has good speed, and it has good like so like I think it's more entertaining to watch than soccer because you get like the movement of soccer,
right?
You get like the spread of the field in basketball where you got to move the ball like around, and then you have the physicality, not a football, but you have a level of physicality that is entertaining and toughness to watch. Yeah, it's so interesting why it's not bigger.
Yeah, okay, this is like a crazy conspiracy theory, and it's not true at all for sure, but it's crossing my mind that
this is just my thoughts.
This is my fantasy. That lacrosse gives a lot of these Northeast fellas, the opportunity to be top level at their sport and to get into Ivy League schools as athletes, because it's way easier to get into those schools if you're an athlete. To get into those schools as athletes, and these guys aren't going to make it as football players or basketball players, and somehow the sport has remained insulated enough that all of these East Coast guys, these Northeast guys from Connecticut and New Hampshire and Massachusetts are able to be the number one lacrosse recruit in their state and go to Harvard or go to Cornell, and maybe they don't want people from the South or people from the rest of the country to dive into that because they're not going to have then the same opportunities to be all the best lacrosse. But what do you think of that conspiracy?
Interesting. Very interesting.
Right?
Wow. Okay. It's like lacrosse remains like a resume builder.
Exactly.
It's not like the people who play lacrosse aren't people who are like, I'm playing lacrosse. I'm doing this sport to get my family a better life. Like they're doing it because like I'm trying to pad up my GPA and extracurriculars. And it's not like, okay, maybe it's this. There's no good stories. There's no good underdog stories of like people coming from a harsh childhood or like a harsh beginning and using that sport to rise up in America. Like it does not have those kind of stories. And you know how much America loves stories.
We do. Tell me
bedtime stories.
All sorts.
All sorts of stories.
Any other story. Yeah. Love stories. Actually, a really good point.
Yeah.
Because it's such a, let's call it high income sport.
Yeah.
There is no there's no rags to riches. We see guys come from, the toughest backgrounds making it in the NBA and making it in the NFL. But in lacrosse, these kids went to Connecticut preps. They went to the Hotchkiss school where you and I went. Okay. And it's like, well, great. You went from the Hotchkiss school and now you play Harvard lacrosse. It's like, it's basically a level. It's not a huge progression of your life. So I find it's very interesting. I mean, imagine if, some of these guys that play football discovered lacrosse. Tyreek Hill playing lacrosse. I mean, he'd be the best player immediately. Just give him a little bit of stick skills and he'd be unbelievable.
It'd be fascinating to watch, actually. I think it'd be really entertaining to watch.
Yeah. So that's I don't know. I've been watching the lacrosse highlights from that, and it's interesting when you look at like the bracket from the playoff tournament. It's just all of these, and this is not anything new, but it's all of these Northeast schools or like Mid-Atlantic schools, a lot of Ivy League schools, and that are just very, very highly academic schools. There's no Alabama lacrosse winning the
That'd be
national
so
championship.
good. Alabama lacrosse would be so good.
I mean,
Be terrifying. We're playing Alabama today?
Oh.
Jeez.
it's Cornell versus Alabama. I mean, so I wonder if it's ever going to progress to that level. Give me your
Yeah.
thoughts on this. Okay. This is at the, what do you call it? The coin flip? I don't know. The handshake before the national championship game. And the referee gave a little bit of like a pregame speech. I want to get your thoughts on this. Okay. Let's see. Here we go.
Our officials today, Peter Buchanan, Brian, and Tim Luxinger.
Don't forget, what we do in life will echo forever in eternity. Wyatt, Logan, touch gloves. Come across, meet your opponent.
Okay. So could you hear that? Okay.
That is so funny.
I know.
That's so funny.
Well,
Okay,
before you go, I thought that when I read just the text of this, that it was a joke because like the names Wyatt and Logan are just like, oh, if I'm going to think of like a cliche white guy lacrosse name, it's going to be Wyatt and Logan. I knew it was real. And also the referee giving this pump up speech. Do you know what that speech is from?
Yeah, what we do in life. Is that from Coach Carter?
It's from Gladiator, Mike. Okay.
Oh, 50-50 shot.
Yeah, Coach Carter.
Oh, I know this one.
What's your take on the referee before the game giving you a quote from Gladiator pregame? Pro or anti?
It's so funny. It's like a SNL skit. Number one, why is the ref wearing shorts?
Because that's the style in Lax. Okay.
Okay. I like to think like there's a group of refs and they're like, all right, who's got the coin toss today? And he's like, I got it.
Yeah.
And he was really excited to give this speech. And what is he thinking? That you were just flip the coin. Just flip the coin. You're thinking you're gonna inspire the teams? Like, that is not your place. This is like anecdote. We had a bus driver at Oregon State. Who would drive us to from the airport to the games, to the stadiums. And one time, like I think it was when we were going to play USC, and we pull up to the Coliseum, and he gets like really excited. He's this really big guy. It's kind of like Chris Farley, the bus driver in Billy Madison, but he's this big guy, and he gets up and stands up when we arrive, and he gives the team like a little pump up speech, and it was like so funny, so sweet, but so out of place that people didn't know how to react and what to do. Like, who is this guy? The bus driver. Just pump us up. No association to the team. Didn't talk to anybody. Like, but then just got really excited and goes, you know what, guys? You go out there. Like, it was just really, really funny. So that's what this reminds me of. And sometimes people surrounding like the support staff of teams or the support staff of big sports events can get caught up in the emotions and just you can't help but have this inspirational quotes come out of you. And it's admirable, but sort of at the same time, reel it in if it's your job.
Yeah, on one hand, it's one of the most beautiful things of sports. You can inspire anyone. On the other hand, you know, I like the bus driver one. But you know, the referee is just like, hey, brother, I don't think that you're supposed to be trying to you're not the coach. Okay. I do respect the Gladiator quote though. That is good. I mean, if he's gonna do it, it's good. By the way, did you see Gladiator 2?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I just watched it on the plane home. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was very
Denzel
cool.
did great. Denzel is always great. Did Georgetown have a lacrosse team?
Yes. And well, that's the other thing about lacrosse is the culture. It's like they were there was some tension there between the football guys and the lacrosse guys. And it's like Georgetown football, not necessarily a premier national powerhouse. Georgetown lacrosse is.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Like all of those schools, Georgetown, Yale, Cornell, like Maryland, all these East Coast schools, even like Johns Hopkins, they're all powerhouses. But at the same time, something. I just felt like, yeah, you guys are a powerhouse, but you're not tapping into all of the athletes in the country. Like, even though we're 1AA of football, we're at least playing a sport where the competition is the entire country, where you're playing a sport where the competition is all the guys that went to $60,000 a year prep high schools.
Yeah.
So there's something there that I can't get fully on board with until it becomes like truly a national sport. You know,
Watching athletes who grew up in households with too much love is not good television.
yeah, it's
It's not good. Watching those guys compete, it's not that great.
it's not that good. And there is a sense of entitlement there. But I love what you said right there, that it's like it's a resume builder sport.
Yeah.
Right? Because the highest you can go is the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League, and it's like I think you make $36,000 a year if you make it in that league. It's like, all right, so not the best. Okay, so there's our lacrosse segment. Congrats to Cornell for winning. Their head coach is 31 years old, which is impressive, actually. So good for him. All right, let's talk about another sport that we don't really talk about so much, the WNBA. And we'll get to the NBA playoffs here in a second, but Mike, all of this hype around Caitlin Clark, and maybe hype's the wrong word because that sounds like undeserved. She deserves it. She's brought so many eyeballs to the sport, and actually, like, I watch her highlights. She's incredible. It's very, very fun to watch, and it's not just me. That the WNBA has enjoyed a very large spike in attendance and in TV ratings, but there's been this weird conversation around it. All of a sudden, there's this huge spike in the WNBA. You have this superstar who came from Iowa in college, who was just beloved, gets into the WNBA, and all of a sudden, there's this huge spike in ratings and attendance and interest in the WNBA. And a lot of people are, it's completely unrelated. It's just completely unrelated. And it's absolutely comical, people who are saying that. And now we have a little bit of proof because Caitlin Clark got hurt. She got banged up. It's like a quad injury or something. And she's out for 2 or 3 weeks. And ticket prices for their games, as you can see here, have absolutely plummeted. Gone from $86 for like the cheapest tickets when Caitlin Clark was playing down to $25. Now,
Wow.
I just think
in 48 hours?
Yeah. I mean,
That's crazy.
Is this not just such a clear indicator that she is the major draw?
Yeah, I mean, it can't get more obvious than that, and I don't understand why they're trying to deny that fact. Why is it? Are they just trying to take credit for like the growth of the sport naturally, and just discredit the spike that she's bringing? Like, why are they so opposed to admitting that?
Yeah, I don't know. The conversation gets really, really weird when you like dive into it of this whole Caitlin Clark situation here. But it's just like everyone who's pretending she's not the driving force for all of the new interest in the WNBA is delusional, or they're not intellectually honest at all. As you see right here, Ticketmaster lowering the Fever Sky game prices at the United Center, even though we were constantly told that another player is just as responsible for the viewership growth of the league. They're talking about Angel Reese, who's sort of like her rival, and they hate each other, but like Angel Reese is still playing and the tickets dropped. So I just find it to be very, very funny and interesting, and then you just get it all backed up with the data here that the ticket price.
Yeah.
You can't. The market doesn't lie.
Yeah,
Supply and demand does not lie.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm trying to think. Like, when has there been like another player like this who drove like viewership up, like spiked viewership up this much?
Michael Jordan.
Is that like that's like the closest comparison, is it not? Like,
I mean, I don't know the exact numbers and data, but like that's sort of the level of interest driving we're talking about here,
of ratioed increase in interest. Yeah,
because like every team in the WNBA, like, or not every team, but a lot of teams, when they play Caitlin Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, their games are sold out, and a good handful have to move to bigger arenas to accommodate the demand. So it's just so silly that people are just not really. Yeah, I don't understand it. It's just like WNBA, like, be grateful and embrace the superstar that you have. It's like you want to face the league. We're talking about all the time who's the face of the league in the NBA. It's like, hey, we've got a clear face of the WNBA. and she's got a lot of potential. And the other thing that we talk about all the time is the fact that like we get to know these players in college, and everybody got to know her in college and Angel Reese in college because they had like a college rivalry that was very intense. And then it comes to the WNBA and continues, and they clearly hate each other. There's a lot of tension there, which is good. It's good television. So that's just I just wanted to touch on that because I know you want to talk about the WNBA more, often, right? And I was just trying to give you the opportunity.
So many people tell me how good she is and how entertaining the games are now. Like no one's ever recommended WNBA to me, but I've been getting it a lot. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty close to watching it. I'm getting so close to watching a clip.
I crossed a clip. I crossed the threshold, and I've been watching highlights and following a little bit. And so that's the power of a face of the league, of a superstar. Okay, sticking with basketball, Mike. All right. We were talking actually the other day about should Tyrese Haliburton's dad be allowed back in the arena? Apparently, everybody watched our show and they let him back in.
They played our clip on ESPN.
They played our clip. Nick and Mikey Alfieri. Should Tyrese Haliburton's father, John, be allowed to watch in the arena again? That's just sort of the impact that we wield, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Big time. But give me your thoughts on this. So Pat McAfee obviously played for the Indianapolis Colts, big Indiana guy. And then the New York Knicks. So it's Indiana Pacers versus New York Knicks. And the New York Knicks always have like these big superstar celebrity fans. You got your Spike Lee, who's been doing it for decades. Then you've got your Ben Stillers. And then recently a hot new fan, Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, he's so hot.
I meant hot sort of in like the trending sort of way. So, Timothy Chalamet is so hot. Okay. Let's check this out here of Pat McAfee. And I want to get your general thoughts on Pat McAfee actually.
Okay. This is fun. This is a fun one.
Yeah, this is fun. This is a fun one. Okay, here we go. Screen share. Here we go. Pat McAfee sitting courtside. He's the celebrity fan for Indiana. Indiana doesn't get so many celebrity fans. Here it is.
Indianapolis, Indiana. We got some big wigs from the big city in the building. Spike Lee is here. Ben Stiller is here. Timothy Chalamet is here.
Oh yeah, nice.
Let's send these sons of bitches back to New York with their ears ringing. Let's turn this shit on.
Okay. Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee.
He's so good at that. MC.
Isn't he great?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So yeah, just give me your how do you feel about Pat McAfee in general? Because I know he's kind of polarizing for some people.
Really? I didn't really I think he's great. I think it's so funny. And I remember like hearing about when he was walking away from the NFL and he's like just leaving millions and millions of dollars on the table. And he had like, he could play for he's a punter. He could play till he's 40.
Yeah.
And he just decided to walk away from that and bet on himself and go into the media and take advantage of his humor and ability to communicate. And it was like, at the time thinking like, this is the dumbest thing ever, but he's so good. And it's kind of like, he's revolutionizing podcasting. Yeah. But I think he's so funny. And I think that like, he kind of like spearheaded the NFL, like former player to podcasting wave of people. Yeah. Plays the trail for people like us.
For us. Former.
I really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the controversy is with him.
I think maybe it's like he wears tank tops and he's like it's just what you said. It's a totally new type of way of communicating sports media. It's way more casual. It's and he also is not as critical, I think, a lot of times of players, or at least makes it so, like, for example, he got that big LeBron interview a couple months ago. And it was like the first time LeBron did one of these interviews. It was like a 45-minute interview. And it was just, he creates this situation where players just feel super super comfortable. You have like players coach. He's like a players media guy, basically.
Yeah.
I would say. I thought that this tweet is hilarious. Speaking of like Indianapolis versus New York City, and you go, with Knicks home games, it's like shit, like Michael J. Fox next to John Hamm sitting courtside. With Pacers home games, it's just some guy that owns an AC company in Indiana. Which I respect. Okay.
The CEO of John's Heating and Cooling.
Yeah. Going up head to head against Timothy Chalamet.
Their celebrity attendance people are like guys who own the local auto shop and have the big inflatable things that go like that. Like that's the most notable.
Yeah. But those guys are like they have like a local commercial.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's John Smith from John Smith Honda in courtside.
John Smith Honda. It's not used, it's pre-owned.
It's pre-owned, okay? What do you think about this though? Because look, first of all, Timothy Chalamet, I mean, guy's an icon. What, like, look at this style right here. He looks like a professional bowler.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Who's your stylist?
He follows the PBA, Professional Bowling Association. Like, people are getting mad about this. Stop showing him after every play. He's ruining the NBA. We just want to watch basketball. And people got mad about showing Taylor Swift in the NFL.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this? On showing the celebrities in game?
I think you always take advantage of it. I think, look, they showed Taylor Swift maybe a little too much, but it was so smart. You take advantage of that. You're not going to have celebrities in the crowd and not talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, just play into it about how cool this game is and how there's star power and how this is the place to be. This is what you want to watch. I don't think there's anything wrong with showing celebrities.
No, I think you always have to lean into it. It's the entire point of sport. Like, your entire goal of sports is to get people to watch, and it's a social proof that, like, oh man, this guy that I watch in movies and think is really cool is traveling to go watch the game in person. This must be important. I want to be like Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
I want to like a basketball team a lot.
I can't emphasize enough how much I want to be like Timmy C. Okay, here's a good question. Who do you think is the best celebrity that has associated themselves with a team, college or NFL?
That's
like who's attached themselves to the hip of a team.
Star power. I love this game. Okay. And we talked about it previously with McConaughey and Texas football.
Yeah.
That one's really, really good because you've seen some of the speeches that he gives, and he's just got such an aura. Chalamet's young, like he's new to the game of being involved in the game. He's gonna come up. He's a hot young come up, and if he sticks with this, he's got the potential to be one of the GOATs. You had guys like Jack Nicholson with the Los Angeles Lakers, always sitting courtside. Spike Lee with the Knicks. It feels, actually, we were talking about lacrosse being very regional. That also feels very regional. It feels very like, in New York City.
Played,
if
you will, the whole Spike Lee thing.
Enough
years. He's all inside.
You're right. It's not as exciting. That's why also I think the Chalamet thing is really exciting because this is the first time that we're seeing him courtside at all of these games and like having the cultural impact. Did you watch the Bob Dylan movie where he played Bob Dylan?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Good. Okay, that's funny you say that because Joey said it was really boring. So who's right?
Oh, I'm right. It's a biopic. It is boring by nature, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's a music biopic. It's supposed to be boring.
It's supposed to be boring. What do you do? Be on the edge of your seat? You already know the ending. It's history. What did you expect?
Okay, so I should watch it.
Yeah, I'd say watch it. Also, watch it.
No, also what?
Well, it's a really big budget, and he gave that really great speech after winning the award, and I think it's worth the watch.
That speech where he did say, like, I want to be one of the greats. And he's doing a great job, actually, of blending sports culture and art media culture together because he's like, I want to be one of the greats. I look up to Michael Jordan. And it's like, oh, I actually like I've never had a complete 180 of an opinion of a guy. And our Timothy Chalamet segment is going a little long today. So I'm fine about it. I've never had a complete 180 of an opinion of a guy as I have had for Timothy Chalamet in the last 9 months. Starting with when he went on College Game Day and made all those picks. And then that speech, and then seeing him with the Knicks. And then I saw some clips of him as like, everyone's saying, oh, he's a bandwagon Knicks fan. It's like I saw a clip of him at like 12 years old getting interviewed on the street about the New York Knicks, and he was diehard.
That's sick.
Yeah, he's legit.
But also, he was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. His humor, his wit is quick. He's picking up everything.
Well, that's
if you can like sustain if you can keep up with Theo Vaughn, humor wise, I very much respect that.
Absolutely. That's that, because also you have to be able to like really adapt and go with the flow with Theo Vaughn, because he does humor that you're like, he's almost a lot of like trying to throw you off with some of these random stories and things. So all right, I guess that will conclude our daily Timothy Chalamet segment. We will be back with more Timothy Chalamet stuff on Friday. Okay, I want to get your thoughts on this because this was getting a lot of criticism. SGA of the OKC Thunder, who's been absolutely balling out, has been criticized for flopping, which he talked about, which I think it's always okay to criticize flopping. But the thing that's getting criticized a lot here is this broadcaster, what's her name? Doris Burke. Okay. And she says this on air.
Shea feels that, and there's contact on the elbow. This is why he's called the free throw merchant.
Okay, I don't know if you could hear that. It said, this is why he's called the free throw merchant. Okay. And a lot of people are getting really upset by this piece of broadcasting that she said he's called the free throw merchant. What do you think? Do you think that's inappropriate to say as a broadcaster?
I don't fully know what that means. Free throw merchant.
Okay, let's walk through. Mike, let's walk through the vocabulary. Okay. You know what a free throw is.
Free throw. Yeah. Okay.
You know what a merchant.
Yeah. You barter, you buy and sell things on the Silk Road.
Yeah. Specifically on the Silk Road between Persia and Europe.
So, so she's saying he attracts free throw, like he's really good at attracting a foul and getting free throws.
He trades in the currency of free throws. That's what that's essentially. Do you think that's inappropriate as a broadcaster? Because she got a lot of flack for this, and I'm not saying she's a great broadcaster, but
it's not a very appealing voice, I will say. But I do think that that's a very clever label. I don't think is that negative to be called that? It's a kind of an apt analysis of somebody's play and a very clever.
I broadcast games for the ELF, and I try to be really professional, and you like try and operate within these sort of constraints where you stay professional. And I felt like that's fine to say. I really didn't understand all of the backlash for that, especially because it's been such a big part of the conversation of like him flopping and him shooting a bunch of free throws.
Yeah.
So it didn't really make sense to me. I thought it was a decent piece of broadcasting. I mean, that's
interesting. Okay, when you are broadcasting, do you feel like you have to be very careful with like when you get excited or something, and you kind of get your emotions and get going? Like you feel like, oh, I have to really watch what I'm saying here.
Yeah, that's a good question because you like, and I was just doing the interview yesterday with that guy Emery Hunt who does broadcasting too. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, but like you have to balance the emotion and analysis with remaining really professional. And you can't be like, oh my gosh, what a crazy, oh my gosh,
did you guys see that play? That was crazy.
Although
broadcast with a lisp.
Some of the ELF broadcasters, like we're so used to hearing sports broadcasters speak in certain cadences and within certain constraints in the United States. And one thing I do love about watching ELF games is the broadcasters, that's completely thrown out the window for maybe half of them. Some of them, like they stick with those rules, and I try to kind of stick with those rules, but other ones are just making up this whole new style of broadcasting where they'll be inappropriately hypercritical of a player and go way too into a backstory of something that like you would never see on American television. And you would maybe call it unprofessional, but it's so interesting. So
Yeah.
Wow. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting to have sort of a freestyle broadcaster?
Yes.
You could choose between professional or chaos.
Okay. This is something I've been saying for years.
I know.
There should be a separate broadcast option where it's 2 comedians in the booth watching the game. And you could go to the comedy broadcast. It's the same game. It's everything, but you have 2 comedians providing commentary. And I think it'd be really fun to watch.
Think about when we watch, all right, Planet Earth. You know Planet Earth, that documentary?
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, you've heard of it. Awesome thing to watch. And the commentary and narration is exactly what you would expect. Great experience. But then there's also like that Planet Earth where Snoop Dogg is narrating it.
Yes.
It's a different experience, but maybe sometimes you're more in the mood for that. And it gives you like this combination of comedy plus nature. You get comedy plus sports. I'm always into the cross-pollination of forms of art and culture. And so I like your comedian broadcasting idea. Okay. So TM, Mikey Alfieri. Okay, so you're fine with the free throw merchant, and you know now what the word merchant means.
Yep. I think I'm pro. I think that was a fine statement.
Okay, we will ask you
broadcasting.
We will ask you on Friday to define the word merchant.
I can do that.
Can you do that? Okay. Here is the last thing I want to talk about, which is highly interesting. Let me scroll up on this. Hold on. Oh, I bookmarked the wrong thing. Darn it.
Oh, when you're broadcasting in the ELF, do you have 2 people? Do you have color commentary and then play-by-play, or
no?
do you do
No, and it's just one guy, and that's where it gets dangerous. And
that's so hard.
It's so hard. Well, that's
and a 2-yard run, and also he's from here, and then now it's a 3-yard.
It's actually so hard, and that's why it gets dangerous. Is because you feel like you have to fill all of the space, and you have no time to think about.
Yeah.
The other guy's broadcast or saying whatever he is right now. So you have a little bit of time to think about what you're going to say next. And this is why we will get some broadcasters just going stream of consciousness. They go play by play and they go, yeah, well, he kind of runs funny. And they're just saying what they see. And so
that's so funny.
It creates a limitation where you get kind of a really, really interesting, really interesting product.
You have no one to play off of. You have to speak like an auctioneer to get everything out.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's like it's very difficult. I will be broadcasting a couple ELF games later in the summer, and I'll be applying some of these techniques. All right, last thing. NCAA news. The SEC is breaking away from the NCAA starting in 2028, 2029. Oh, wait, this says it's not true. Okay.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
sorry. So funny. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So
it's like you're a lawyer and you're about to plead your case. Your Honor, the plaintiff clearly was at this location. Oh, sorry. This was disproven. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, I swear that this is true. Hold on. I'm gonna find the thing. Okay, SEC, NCAA. Just give me a moment here. Mike, fill the space with some stream of conscious broadcasting.
Okay, I'm sorry. This was debunked.
Oh my goodness! Look at this. Okay, this is actually hilarious because the first thing when I type in SEC, NCAA is this. I just fell for a parody tweet about the SEC leaving the NCAA. Is this not true? I thought that hold on. CBS Sports College Football tweeted it. There is something. Okay. There's something here. What is it? Okay. The SEC commissioner, Greg Sankey, has announced that the SEC will be breaking away from the NCAA effective for the 2028-2029 academic calendar year. This comes after months of speculation. I can't tell if this is true or not. I thought for the last 24 hours this is true. And now you guys are seeing live on air, me being fact checked in clown.
You guys are seeing how the sausage is made. That was pretty.
Okay, let's just.
Well, why would they even want to leave?
Well, that's the thing, because it seems like a realistic thing.
Yeah.
You know what? Should we put a pin in this one?
Yeah, let's circle back till we have some sort of evidence.
Our fact checkers are sleeping in today. So I could have swore that was true. Okay. I could have swore. But if they did, it would be the SEC to do it.
Yeah, it's true. I think they have the power and the confidence to just walk away and go, what are you going to do without us? Good luck.
It was kind of like what Scott was talking about, or in a previous episode, like during football season, of like how football teams will break away from their universities and become like a separate entity, possibly in the future, and essentially license the name of the university. Like the Alabama football team would be a whole professional organization that licenses and has its association with the University of Alabama. And I think there's something to that, and I think that that's kind of where things are headed. What do you think?
Yeah. I love that. And I think of it, okay, I love that in the sense that, like, if you're going to college to play a sport, you should not be forced to go to class. I think as much separation as we can have between the sport and the school for the players, I think it's good.
You know what? You know what you just described? Professional sports, which we already
professional
have.
Sports.
Okay. So you want another professional sports league?
Yeah. I mean, I think like it's actually horrible for the children's lives because they're at an age where they're going to make the worst possible decision. But when I was in college, I always thought I just want to play football. I didn't care about the school.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand.
That's my argument.
That's a good argument. Maybe for certain sports, but should probably make the lacrosse player still go to class because their sport is just a resume builder, as you said at the start of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's a callback if I've ever seen one.
That's good.
I think that's an appropriate spot to end it for today. We will do some digging on this SEC NCAA story to make sure that it's real before we deep dive on it. Okay, there we have it, Mike. Good show today. You have any more compliments about my white t-shirt?
It looks nice and crisp. And if I own that shirt, I would wear it 20 days in a row until people said, "Why are you wearing that shirt so much?" And then I'd stop wearing it for a while and then put it back in.
Okay, there we have it. And I'll do something just like that until the armpit stains start showing up, which they will. All right, everybody, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one. See you.